Hi everyone! I have a special treat today. We have Mikaila Maidment, a professional illustrator, here to talk with us about the Zig art and graphic twin, which is essentially a dual-ended watercolor marker. Mikaila has had a lot of experience with these at this point, and she has a lot of experience with illustration in general. So she's illustrated children's books. She makes. Do you say makes or writes? She makes comics,
cartoons.
Yeah, she makes cartoons for iPhone Life magazine.
Yeah.
And she does other kinds of commissions. I don't know if there's anything in particular you want to talk about.
I've been doing quite a few children's portraits at this point.
Right, and in fact, we received a gift.
Henry
These are her very beautiful birthday card. My husband, Frank, was the lucky recipient of this, and this is our son, Henry, with Mikaila's daughter, Ollie, and we love it so much we're going to get it framed. How long did it take you to do this?
10 minutes? A few minutes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Not too long.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so Mikaila has a website and Mikaila has a Facebook page. I'm going to post those links below so that you can follow along on all of her amazing creations. All right, so.
Thank you.
Was that a good intro?
Yeah, that was great.
All right. Well, Mikaila is also my friend. I should have said that. I'm very lucky. I have all these talented friends, even though I have no artistic or musical ability whatsoever. So it's really lucky for me. All right. So Mikaila was thinking she could show us how she makes certain creations with the art and graphic twin, and I'm just going to be asking her some questions while she works through a little project, and hopefully it will help inspire people at home to create something of their own. And also I'm selfishly excited because I find these kind of hard to use for someone with no artistic ability.
Yeah, I love these pens. I just love these pens. I usually work with gouache, sometimes watercolor. I
have worked, believe it or not, I have worked with, I think I pronounce it wrong. I think I say gouache or something.
I think, yeah. Well, I might be pronouncing it.
No, I'm sure you're pronouncing it
wrong.
I've used it in lettering classes when I'm learning how to do pointed pen calligraphy, and the teacher taught us you can dilute it because it's very thick.
Yeah.
And
you can dilute it so it can have a watercolor effect, or it can be really thick and
cool.
have a really rich, deep.
Really, you could have a lot of fun with color. With
a lot of fun with
color. Yeah.
And these pens, I feel have that quality of that watercolor gouache. You can dilute it like watercolor. In a blender.
Yeah. It makes sense. It is a water-based brush marker on one end, I guess. So I think the idea is an artist can basically be taking a watercolor palette with them, but it's no mess, no fuss kind of thing.
Yeah, especially with kids. You just you can
Yeah. Oh my
you
gosh.
don't have to pull all your paints out.
Yeah.
And
cool.
I find the nib is so nice to use because it's really like a little paintbrush, so you can create these really fine lines or create these
So let me show them what she's talking about here. Sounds like Mikaila is talking about this, more like the brush end.
Yeah.
It's, they call it a brush tip. Technically it's like foam or something, don't you think? It's really interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Try to zoom in there. And then do you use this tip much? When you're
I don't too much actually. I just like the
brush
tip.
Yeah. Cool.
But it's really nice for detail work because it's so tiny and so fine.
Right. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, why don't we? Okay, let me refocus here. Sorry. Why don't we get a blank page?
Okay.
And it is your own art. Okay. Should we find a blank page?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm scrolling through someone's diary or something right now. It's is this awkward for you?
Well, this isn't, because these are actually some commissions.
Okay.
But it is interesting because I did post something on Instagram the other day, which was a comic, but it was more of a journal entry. It was
Yeah,
like I'd
from-
just gone in a fight with my husband, so I decided to journal it
In art.
in art.
That's
And
awesome.
it definitely, yeah.
So
There's a little
you
more
had to be
vulnerability.
brave and
Yeah,
post
I had
that.
to
So
put
if
it
people
out there.
follow you on Facebook, they're gonna
They'll be
see
like-
some comics of a argument with your
Argument,
husband.
yeah, just so you
This
know,
is
it's-
great.
I love my husband. It's all good.
So I think you were telling me earlier, you do a lot of this while you're just in the evening when you're kind of chilling,
Yeah.
having your relaxed time.
Yeah. Sometimes just sitting.
All right, we have a
watching
blank page.
Awesome.
Oh, let's
Okay.
tell them what paper we're using.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna flip to the front real quick.
Yeah.
So this is a mixed media pad,
media.
which is good for watercolor. And
Acrylic and pen and pencil.
okay.
Yeah.
And is this like easy to find at like Walmart or something?
Dick Blick is
Blick.
where I got
Okay.
it. They might have it at Walmart.
I've noticed Walmart actually has a reasonable
Surprising.
art paper section. I noticed
do.
it recently, and when Mikaila and I live in a very small town, so it's not that we love going to Walmart, but
Yeah.
it's nice to
Sometimes
actually be able to
there's
buy
not
things
a
in our
lot.
town. Yeah.
Don't have a lot of choices sometimes. Okay, should I just...
I say
Just
go
begin?
for it, and I
Okay.
might, if you don't mind, I might ask you questions
Yeah.
while you're working, and then
Okay.
if you ever need to stop because my questions are annoying, that's okay.
No, okay. I'm going to use a little blender tool for a second here.
So do you, so Mikaila's using
Yeah,
the blender right
I'm
now.
using the blender. I'm just dipping it in the water there. And then, oh, it's got a little bit of a pink
Oh,
to it,
oops,
actually.
yeah, I was-
But actually, that's kind of pretty. I don't mind that.
It's really
I don't
neat.
mind that. And you can kind
Yeah.
of just go around the edges.
That's
and-
from me playing with the blender earlier. I obviously like pink. So how do you pick, when you're deciding on a
Yeah.
color, would you call it a color palette for
Mhm.
your art?
Yeah.
How do you just pick a color?
Oftentimes I get so inspired by other people's artwork
Okay, sure.
that I'll often go onto Pinterest and just look at what colors are popular right now.
Okay,
Sometimes
right,
what colors
sure.
are. I remember the turquoise and pink were really popular for a while, but sometimes just looking at other artists. I often also work with
This one is mid green.
mid green.
If
Trying to get,
anyone's curious.
and sometimes
It's
I
a
just
beautiful olivey color, I think.
yeah, I just dunk it right into the.
Oh yeah, so
water.
you even will add water to them
Yeah, I mean,
to make them even more watercolory.
I don't have necessarily
That's
a
cool.
technique. I just play with it.
Oh sure,
So
I think that's the fun of them.
yeah,
I mean, you're a real artist. You can do whatever you want.
that's the secret with art. You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. There are always going to be people that telling you you're doing something
This is
wrong.
what you got to
Who
do.
cares?
Yeah, no.
You're a professional.
I don't know what I was saying before that.
Oh yeah.
Am I going off?
We were talking about. No, you're doing a great job. We were talking about how you pick, your colors.
colors.
Do you think
Right.
about? I always wonder about this. Do artists think about the color wheel all the time?
The color wheel.
Yeah. Are you always thinking oh, this color is, opposite this color, so it'll look good.
Complementary.
Yeah.
Well, for sure I will. So that became a little muddy, but
That's okay.
you know what? We'll work with that.
Yeah.
We'll just create more of those little. I definitely. I feel like that is sort of the thing you can just fall back on is okay, if I don't know what to do, I'll just fall back on the complementary colors because you can't go
Sure.
wrong with a little bit of green and a field of red or
Right.
purple and yellow or orange and blue. And I find that, yeah, it's like those tried and true color combinations that that you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. If you are stuck, you can go to these, those color combinations. I actually like working in black and white a lot.
Oh, okay.
So experimenting with color is, I love it, but I do work in black and white, and there's so many amazing grays in this set. that you can create these beautiful gradations with just the grays.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to
I didn't
use
even
the
think
blender.
about that when I was first telling you about these markers, because I knew you did comics,
Yeah.
which tend to be black and white and shades of gray, right?
Yeah, usually, yeah. Yeah.
And that is the reason they put in so many shades of gray to this set, is because they're supposed to be good for like manga. And, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So they really had people like you in mind when they designed this. I love that color of red. Let's tell people what it is.
Okay.
It's just red.
It's red? Yeah,
There's
it's
so
like
many shades of red, and like that's just red.
It's like a beautiful pinky.
Yeah, it's bright,
juicy looking.
It's like so bright, and actually it's kind of vermilion looking to me.
Vermilion,
like kind of has a little bit of bright orange or something.
Yeah, that's the color I was going for. This blue.
Yeah, that's what you were going for before.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, colors, and also I think using colors, the more I can pare down, like using, I'm just going to use red and green, or just like really being, what am I doing here? Okay.
Sorry, I got you talking.
Sometimes the mouth and the hand don't work at the same time.
No. Is that like art school 101?
Oops, that was green. That's not what I meant.
Hey, who cares?
Yeah. There's no rules, right?
That's what happens when you're getting distracted when you're doing your art.
I guess just the interesting stuff that comes out when you really, what's the word I'm looking for? When you are very contain your materials.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's the word? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, constrained.
Constrained, but there's it's okay. Yeah, like you're only going to do a tonal drawing, or you're only going to do a
right.
So that's,
it's almost like do you ever do that on purpose, like artificially limit what you can
for
use?
sure.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
that must be a way to get better.
I feel like when you have too many options, you almost I almost go. It's like too many options, and I don't know how to start. Almost, I need to limit it. Which is why commissions can be really, really fun, because it's really clear. There's a clear intention there.
Right.
So when I first got these pens, when you gave them to me, my kind of criteria was like, okay, I'm just gonna play. I'm not even going to I'm gonna make a mess. I'm gonna just and
I feel like I'm witnessing art happening right before my very eyes.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Am I keeping it in the frame?
Yeah,
okay.
You're totally in the frame.
Okay.
And we can always move the pad if you need to.
Okay. Yeah, Pinterest is awesome.
So you go to Pinterest a lot for inspiration.
And I on Instagram I follow some artists and.
Oh yes, Mikaila is on Instagram also. I'll make sure that is linked to. Unless you don't want people following you on Instagram.
I'm okay
Never
with
mind.
it. I'm okay. No, not anything but Instagram.
I feel like Instagram is.
I really like Instagram.
For most people, if you have an open account, I mean, you understand you're putting stuff out there, and it's not like private.
Yeah, I really like that. That it's just more imagery,
Yeah.
And it's just photos and pictures.
Yeah, it's like little like seconds of people's day. I think it's really cool.
It's more intimate.
Yeah.
And I've gotten that's very not very elegant looking, but I've gotten a lot of commissions out of Instagram, just people looking.
Look at, I mean, you're getting a lot of variation of color. Just
Yeah,
out of one.
yeah, you can see like you just...
Yeah. And that was just straight up black, right?
That was...
Or was that a shade of gray?
I think, no, that was...
Oh, yeah, that's black.
That's black. And it's
And then
beautiful. It's got like
here's
almost a
your-
purpley hue.
Yeah, it's like how beautiful the red is.
Yeah, these are gorgeous.
I have so much fun playing with these
Yeah.
colors. I just don't have a lot of, like, I just don't know what to do with them because I'm not an artist.
Well, I think that's sometimes just looking at what other people are doing, and
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with copying sometimes if it gets the juices going.
That's
you know.
true. And there's no
That's-
reason not to just play around because, you know, who's gonna see it?
Yeah.
Unless someone.
Yeah,
unless someone
no
puts
guilt.
It on YouTube.
Yeah. Listen. Yeah, so sometimes I like dip this in, which actually, I don't know, that doesn't have quite the same. Blender definitely works better. I like using the side of the blender too. And this like touching it into wet can create a nice kind of.
Yeah. Cool. Do you ever mix colors together? Like two different colors? Do you ever?
I do actually. Let's try it.
I think you must have done something like that here in a
I
couple
did,
places.
yeah,
There
yeah.
are definitely colors being mixed together
Yeah.
there. Oh yeah, and here. Yeah, you totally
Yeah.
do.
I do. I was just.
Challenge, mixed color. Oh, this is amazing. There's a lot of colors being mixed together there.
Yeah, so that one you can. I mean, if you mix, obviously you'd want to mix colors that are. You wouldn't want to mix complementary colors together because you might get mud, but you might want that effect. I don't know what this is. This is maybe going to become something else.
Looks like something from the sea.
Something from the sea.
Ooh, pretty. Amazing.
I don't know.
That's a floofle flower.
It's a
I think.
floofle. I like using those blues actually. Those blues are.
Ooh, what shade of blue is that?
That is.
I can tell you use these a lot because. Oh yeah, this one's dull blue. I wrote on.
It's dull blue.
That's my handwriting. I wrote on it.
Oh, it is kind of dull. It has. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of a muted navy almost.
I call that like a gray blue. To me, it
Yeah.
looks like it has gray in it.
Yeah.
I used to call. I talk about this on my channel sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I annoy people with it, but I always call those mauved. I know
Mauved.
mauve is a shade of purple, right?
Yeah,
But it's like
yeah.
purple with gray in it. So when I was growing up, I always would just say like, oh, it's mauve blue. But then I had a landlady once who was like a color expert. She's an artist.
Yeah. Well, what does she say?
And she said, well, yeah, that makes sense because of the colored grays.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so she
yeah.
basically talked about, how,
Yeah, the grays have a tone to it.
Yeah.
Like a pinky tone
yeah.
or blue. Yeah. So you're an artist.
So a lot of times I look at color and I say, oh, that has gray in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I call it a color gray.
Gray is such an awesome
Yeah, gray is
color.
so
I
cool.
love it. It's so, it makes everything kind
Yeah.
of pop.
And I don't know if this will make sense, but what I really like is when a color has both gray in it and has been pasteled a little bit. So I don't know if that means it has gray and white in it, but like it's pastel, but also grayish pastel.
Like the actual pastel, like a.
Yeah,
Or just-
like I wish I could. Like I would almost call this one. See this color right here?
Oh, that, yeah. It's
I
like,
would
it's a bit
call
of
it
olivey.
Yeah, it's like pastel olive or something.
Yeah.
So to me, this looks like you had some green and you
Yeah.
made a pastel and also grayed it. I don't know. Anyway, oh,
Yeah.
it's actually called Pale Dawn Gray,
Pale dawn gray. That's
which I feel
pretty.
like is a really good name for it.
Yeah. It'd be fun to come up with the names for these things. It's funny, I like never draw flowers, and here I am drawing flowers.
You draw a lot of faces.
I do a lot of faces. I do a lot of caricatures, and
Can you draw a truck?
can I draw a truck? You know what? Actually, I find vehicles very challenging. Cars and trucks, and like.
Do you like drawing animals? I know that okay.
I do like animals.
Because I have seen some very cute animals that you've drawn in your children's books.
Yeah. Trucks, are you thinking about Henry?
Yeah, because Henry would just die if I could learn how to draw a truck.
I could try.
So you were mixing a pink and red there,
I was
right?
just mixing a pink and red. I'm just creating some kind of...
And is that one...
This was the red that I was using.
Peach pink, it's
Peach
called.
pink.
It's very pretty with that red.
Yeah.
How did you know it would be pretty with that red?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Went
You just
for it.
went for it.
Went for it.
Yeah, okay. So there she is. While I'm blabbing on about color, you have been mixing a couple colors together.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I think that helps inspire people.
Hope so.
Yeah.
They have just been amazing since you let me use them.
I'm so
I
glad
tell you, it's
that
like,
you've been having fun with them.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't have a studio set up and I'm just painting on my table.
Yeah. Seems like a really healthy hobby.
You know, it really.
I mean, it's not a hobby when you're doing work, but it's a hobby if you're just relaxing in the evenings, right?
Because you can't help but just be quiet and go inward and
Yeah.
be
I feel that
with
way
yourself.
when I'm practicing lettering.
Oh, yeah, that is very meditative, actually.
I think it is. It is.
Lettering, especially, because
And
there's.
Going way back to when I was studying Japanese, there was a lot of practicing character, practicing kanji.
I would love to learn that.
And it's very,
You can teach me?
very meditative. Yeah, we should
would love
swap
to learn.
lessons or
Okay.
something.
This is a really pretty blue, by the way, that I just picked up.
This one is blue.
It does.
So basically what you're saying is people could go with the primary colors and be really happy because
Yeah.
they're so vibrant.
Yeah.
So you're mixing, was that only blue with the
that was
blender
blue
or blue
and dull blue, I think.
dull blue, that's right. Blue and dull blue. I don't know why they would call this dull blue.
Oh, wait. That one was, let's see, what did I do
Oh.
here? No, I didn't use that one.
Yeah, it was dull blue. This
Oh,
cat,
I put the wrong
maybe
cap
this
on.
cat got switched at some point.
Yep. Yes. Very possible.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably those two.
Yeah, and then you can also, if you have ink or your pen on your blender, you can just use your blender and have a very, just create
Yeah.
a wash.
That's incredible. That's gorgeous.
And then you can just come over and kind of highlight it with some.
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty. So do you ever get commissions from people who just found you on the internet? Or is it mostly word of mouth, or how does it work?
Well, when I post, I've been posting on. Definitely, when I post more, I've been getting requests. Yeah, friend up in. Haven't seen her in years and years, but she's from Canada, where I'm from, and she just contacted me and saw some of my work that I posted and asked for commissions of her kids.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've heard some people like to have a commissioned drawing or painting of their family, and they'll use it as their Christmas card, photo.
That's an awesome
Isn't
idea.
that cool?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Maybe you should
I should
advertise
do
those.
that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think how exciting would that be to get a card from someone that was actually
And I was
really unique like that.
I was thinking too, and I think I told you about it. I was in the park with Emily, and we were both breastfeeding, and we were just sitting under a tree talking. And I went home and I illustrated it, and I posted it, and I ended up giving it to her. And people really liked it, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a a vignette or like a scene that someone had.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a bachelorette party or something, like, oh, we're all out for drinks, and you want a little cartoon of that memory.
Yeah, I think that's great. It'd be a great gift for someone too. Yeah. It's really hard to like find something special.
Something unique. Yeah.
And it doesn't, if people can frame something like that and hang it on the wall, and then it's not, it's not really taking up space in your house. You know, like every time I give someone a gift as an adult, I'm thinking like, are they actually gonna want this in my house?
Yeah. Right. Am I just wasting money here?
But like custom, framed drawing or portrait or something would. I mean, that's what I'm gonna do with this. I'm gonna frame this.
Oh man, you're so sweet.
This is exciting. Are you
I would have
kidding?
spent a little more time on it.
No. This is amazing.
So I kind of blended this, and now it's looking a little. I don't know if this paper can handle too much blending or too much water. So I think if you're wanting to do more blending, maybe thick watercolor paper might.
Thick watercolor paper.
Because I think I might have just overdone it there, but that was.
I can't tell.
Okay.
Only you can tell. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to show them or tell them? You're gonna people are gonna ask questions.
You're gonna ask questions.
You're gonna have to, I'm gonna be passing on some questions.
Okay, okay. I can't think of anything else I can't think of anything right now. Can you think of anything?
I don't think so. I think they got to see the process. I asked the questions I had. I don't know. Yeah. I'll probably think of like 20 questions when we get off.
I'll probably think of things that I could have said after.
I mean, I could talk about color all day long, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, but I get so excited by it.
Yeah, color is amazing. I mean, how it...
Like, how many colors do you think... Can I show them this?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, how many colors did you use in this flower?
That one looks like I used like a deep mauve or something. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, and then like a peach. It looks like you threw 4.
Yeah, 4. At least 4. Did you count the yellow?
Yeah, yellow, peach, that, and purple.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think. And that was, I think just that red and like some pink.
So you think that you maybe got this color combo inspiration from Pinterest, or it came from your head?
Well, that came from my head.
Okay. See, how do people do that? How does that translate? It doesn't.
I guess
you're an artist.
Practice, definitely.
Yeah.
Like what you know,
sure.
what you know works. And,
sure.
But definitely when I'm stuck, I'll go to other people are doing.
Yeah. I do have one more question.
Yeah.
Have you, you've been using these for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. Have you run out of ink and a marker yet?
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I was really surprised that you had come back at some point and said like, hey, I need more black or
and I like use it
something.
Every day.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So they do last a long time. That's good to know because they're not like super cheap. So, I think it's good for people to feel like they're going to last a long time. And, yeah, awesome. Sure. Well, thank you so much. Everyone, please look at the links below for Mikaila's website and social media. And if you have any questions for her, you can email me. Yeah, we should just have them email me, right? Okay. And then I'll
pass it on.
You don't want the emails. Okay. You'll get so many. I will pass on.
Like about the pens, I might not be able to answer.
Right. I will pass on your questions to Mikaila.
Okay.
And you can also leave your questions, obviously, below in the comments, and we'll look through them. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, and Mikaila.
Thank you.
Bye.